All right, this hangout on air is live. What's up, everybody? This is Sound Booth Theater Live, requests only. And today we have a bunch of cool requests. You guys really blew up the poll this time. Um, and yeah, so let me go through what we've got for today. Oh shit! No, shut your mouth, me. Okay. Cool Bonbon is here in the chat, but she should be joining us in the hangout. That's my opinion. You guys should harass her until she decides to give in and be in the stream when we go to her request. Let's see. I need to send the hangout to Angel Medina, or I'm sorry, to derp 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 derp. Names are hard. Angel Ramon. I sent him the link to our hangout, so he should be joining us shortly so we can talk about his book. But let me go ahead and do my screen sharing bit here. So yeah, Prehistoric Crisis. Oh, here he is. What's up, Angel?
Hey.
Do you prefer to go by your pen name, or do you just?
What was that?
Oh, I guess Angel's your name either way. So yeah, I was just about to show off the cover of your book here. One second.
Hey.
Here we go. There it is. Prehistoric Crisis, Book 1, a GameLit Dinosaur horror fantasy saga. Now, this isn't available yet. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Coming October 12th.
Yeah.
Yeah, just from the title alone, I'm very interested in this, but we'll get back to it in a second. I'm just going through all the different titles that we have requested for today. The second one that we'll be doing is I Hate Being Wed in a Fantasy World by kentusrpg. Now, if Kentus, you show up in the chat, and or if you can contact me on Facebook, I can also give you a link to our hangout so you can talk with us while we're doing your request. But it looks like, is this volume 5 you started on? This looks like maybe a pretty popular Royal Road title. He's got 1,500 followers, so yeah, Kentus RPG has a following, and it looks like a little devil girl on the front, so I'm sure that'll be popular with the main contingent of the audience here. And last but not least, we have Bonnie Price's request for her Deck of Souls book. And we actually did a reading of this. I'm not sure how long ago it was. It wasn't too long ago, maybe a month and a half ago we did a reading of this, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, we'll be doing that. And actually, if you guys peer pressure Bonnie enough, we will have her on the stream as well. So, Prehistoric Crisis by Angel Ramon. Angel, tell us a little bit more, not just about this book, but about your whole author journey so far.
All right, so to get started, I live in Puerto Rico right now, and I normally write a GameLit horror, but I was a huge fan of Jurassic Park, so I decided to start the series of Prehistoric Crisis, and I used to be a huge nut for the Legend of Zelda. If you ever played in that series.
What is it called?
So I decided to combine those two elements together with dinosaurs and the Legend of Zelda to create, what's going to be what should be an epic title. As for progress of the book itself, I'm nearly done with it, so I should have it edited for about a month or so, and then it should be out for October 12th. And so as for what the book is about, it's about the main character. He's from the United Kingdom. He goes to visit his friend in South Africa, and then he sneaks out and sees this world where dinosaurs live, and these aren't genetically engineered dinosaurs. These are real dinosaurs. Little does he know is that when he steps into the world, it turns into like a video game world, and his dream of, and this guy's a huge dinosaur freak, so he starts to see the dinosaurs for real. I mean, it's going to be a lot of magic spells. It's going to be he's going to have an opportunity to raise his own dinosaurs. You know, he's going to, you know, dinosaurs. It's going to be more than just dinosaur fights. He's going to be he's going to have a bond with certain dinosaurs, and they're going to help him out in his adventure. And it's going to be like a real life adventure. And then at the end of the story, he's going to have a huge decision to make, whether to stay in this video game world or return to the real world.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So you said that your first GameLit series was a horror series, right?
Yeah, a zombie horror series. Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, that series. That's actually how I got started in game. It was the zombie horror because I used to play a lot of Resident Evil. I was a huge Resident Evil nut, so I decided to start a series there. So in that series, I take the Resident Evil elements and add my own twist to it, such as ammo crafting. It reads like a classic Resident Evil game. If you ever played like the Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3. It reads like
don't open that door.
Yeah. Open that door. Yeah, don't open that door. There you go. Exactly. It has the same feel, and I've had people like the series. And people who read zombie fiction have told me that it gives a fresh perspective on the genre. Because a lot of people who write zombie horror, it's usually the same, same plot, same idea, same stale idea, and I try to freshen it up with the GameLit elements.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like what you like to do is take things that really, I don't want to say traditionally, because there's not a game that hasn't really been around long enough to have any kind of traditions, but typically we're used to hanging out in the fantasy or the sci-fi worlds for GameLit and Lit RPG.
Right.
Horror, I mean, it seems like that would be very difficult to do, and maybe not so much with the dinosaurs. I think the dinosaurs feel a little more natural.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's tons of.
And to be honest, Jeff, I'm actually more excited for this one. I'm really excited for this one to release it. Live. I've had a story I've had a story for about a year and a half already. So I was just outlining it and everything else, and it's starting to come out nice.
Cool. All right, so I'm going to read your synopsis here.
All right.
Before we go, live among the dinosaurs in the dinosaur horror / fantasy lit RPG / GameLit book. Mixes the expansive open world of Dino Rule with the dungeon core world of the 7 elemental temples. Stephen is your average young adult from the UK who just happens to like risky adventures and dinosaurs. When he gets invited to South Africa by an old school friend, he is excited to take the trip. When he arrives, he sneaks off to the southern border of the known territories of South Africa. During his jaywalk, he bumps into a mythical universe where he spots dinosaurs living, and these are not genetically engineered either. However, this is a secret that he has to keep to himself. Stephen is surprised when his best friend, Matthew, knows about the living dinosaurs. They plan to go visit the mythical land until the dinosaurs pay a visit to their camping grounds and begin to wreak havoc on the real world. Stephen finds a sacred shrine where he finds a legendary blade and shield. That is when he finds out that he's the legendary hero of the mythical land of Dino Rule. As the hero of Dino Rule, he must stop an evil sage known as Ares from taking over Dino Rule and using the dinosaurs to take over not only Dino Rule, but also the Mother Earth. Can this young adult conquer the different trials as he enters a world where dinosaurs and humans live in harmony? He'll learn how to use different elemental spells, conquer the different elemental temples in Dino Rule, and even raise his own dinosaur pets. This is more than just your regular adventure, as he'll meet friends, traders, dinosaurs that will ally themselves with him, and a world that has the same feeling as our Earth. Can Stephen keep Dino Rule a dinosaur paradise, or will it be consumed by evil? More importantly, will he ever leave Dino Rule, or will he make a new life amongst the dinosaurs? All right, so you also sent me just a little bit of a heads up about your characters. The characters are Stephen and Matthew, who are both British and are both young adult males. Then there's a spirit who has the voice of a wise old man. So why did you choose British characters?
I chose British. Because Stephen. I actually have a friend named Stephen who's from the UK, and he's a huge Dino Crisis fan. So I asked him for permission if I could use him as a character because he mows dinosaurs and all that, and we're very good writing buddies. So, and I know usually the Brits like to travel or not. They usually like to go to another exotic places. So I would think that would be knowable or believable. So, honestly, it's more for the friendship than anything else. I'm sure I could have used any race, but because Steven is somebody I know personally, I decided to use him as a character.
Yeah, that's something that a lot of authors in this community like to do, is they like to feature everybody else, like give little winks and nods to their friends in their books. And, maybe that's something that authors have always done, but, we just aren't as tuned into their communities as we are into this one. So we just notice it a lot more here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get started here in just a sec, but my dog is outside barking. I'm going to let her in real quick, and I'll be right back.
All right.
All right, here goes.
All right.
Chapter 2. After hearing the noise, he hears more roaring. After the roaring stops, he hears screaming coming from outside. He looks for Matthew, but he's nowhere to be found. "Matthew! Where can you be?" he asks, and gets no response. "Oh my God! It's dinosaurs!" Stephen hears a male voice screaming. Not taking any chances, he looks in the box and finds a weapon he can use. Picked up a bow. Your regular bow and arrow weapon. Not as good as a gun, but you'll take it anyway. Aim and then use the string to fire the bow. Arrows, 30. Game, start. Health, 100. Armor, 0. With his new weapon, he heads outside and sees that the researchers are being attacked by dinosaurs. "What the? Why are the dinosaurs here? How did they get here?" Stephen finds himself asking. "There isn't much time to explain. Just kill the dinosaurs and make sure they don't get to the next major city. Once you do that, I will explain further," the spirit from yesterday tells him. A combination of raptors, Dilophosauruses, flying pteranodons can be seen terrorizing the area. The dinosaurs attack and eat up the researchers who are running for their lives. A couple of raptors approach Stephen. He keeps his cool and anticipates them attacking. They both rush towards him and try to bite him, but he rolls out of the way easily. Taking his bow, he shoots an arrow at one of the raptors. The bow lands at the heart of the raptor, killing it. "Whoa! I just killed a raptor!" Stephen tries to understand what he just did. The other raptor jumps towards him and grabs him. It throws him to the ground quite hard and roars as it's ready to pounce on him. Health, 92. He tries to get up and launch an arrow, but his inexperience causes him to miss the raptor badly. Arrows, 28. The raptor approaches him and places its foot on top of Stephen. He becomes trapped in the grasp of the dinosaur as it opens its mouth ready to make him its next meal. How much? Oh. Is Stephen talking to himself here? So much for loving...
Huh?
It says, "So much for loving dinosaurs, I'm about to be eaten by one. Nice knowing you, Stephen." Who's talking here? Is it Matthew that's talking here?
That's Stephen. He's talking to himself.
Oh, okay. "So much for loving dinosaurs. I'm about to be eaten by one. Nice knowing you, Stephen," he says to himself, preparing to be eaten by a raptor. The raptor screams in pain when it's shot by an arrow from a crossbow. Another arrow in its neck is enough to kill it. When Stephen looks to his right to see who killed the raptor, he sees that it's Matthew. "You're not done yet, mate! Now get up!" Matthew screams towards Stephen. "Thank goodness you were here, Matthew. Where do these dinosaurs come from? Stephen asks as he gets up. I have an idea, but first we have to make sure these guys don't get to the next city, Matthew answers. The two get together and begin to head towards the trailer where the raptors and Dilophosauruses are located. Matthew focuses on killing the raptors, while Stephen focuses on the slightly bigger Dilophosauruses. Stephen stays on the move as he dodges the constant attacks from the Dilophosauruses. Getting into attack mode, he shoots an arrow at one of the creatures, injuring it. Before he can relax, though, he is bitten by one of the other dinosaurs from behind and is slashed by another one that is to his right. Health 73. After going down, he grabs his bow to shoot an arrow. Waiting for one of the Dilophosauruses to get close to him, he shoots an arrow right into the mouth of the dinosaur when it opens it. The arrow goes through the neck, killing the dinosaur. The dinosaur had bit Stephen before trying to bite him. The dinosaur that had bit Stephen before tries to bite him on the floor. Press A and B to roll. Well done. He rolls out of the way from the hungry Dilophosaurus. The dinosaur ends up eating the dirt from the floor. Stephen recovers and shoots the dinosaur with a couple of arrows, killing it. Arrows 25. Once the Dilophosauruses are dead, Stephen goes back to assist his best friend. Between both of them, they are able to kill all of the hostile raptors. So, this was the surprise you had to show me, Matthew? Stephen asks. Sort of. I just didn't expect them to go crazy like they did. You see, we found traces on our radar of living dinosaurs, and we were going to take a trip towards the south to see if they were really dinosaurs. Matthew says. Matthew, there's something I have to tell you. What is it, Stephen? When you were taking a nap, I took a trip to the border yesterday, and I literally saw dinosaurs roaming around freely. I tried to get close, but I couldn't, as there was an invisible barrier. I even took pictures. They came out pure white, Stephen answers. So you're saying that is where these dinosaurs are coming from? Matthew asks. Yeah, but a spiritual voice told me that the land these dinosaurs come from is sacred, and the land is a peaceful land. Makes sense, as it's in a remote location away from human interaction. I think we need to go there. The evil might already be here, Stephen explains more. What evil? Is there more I need to know? Matthew continues to ask more questions. Before Stephen can answer, though, flying pteranodons can be seen ready to pounce on the two. The two simply try to run from the flying dinosaurs and enter the forest where the dinosaurs can't land. However, Stephen is grabbed by one of the pteranodons, and Matthew is forced to shoot the pteranodon with his crossbow. The dinosaur loses its grip on Stephen, and he falls to the ground about 15 feet down. Health, 60. Takes quite a bit of damage after the fall, but manages to get up fine. The two decide to take on the pteranodons. Stephen tries to shoot the dinosaurs with his bow, but misses all three of his shots badly. One of the dinosaurs fly down and tries to grab Matthew. Stephen pushes his friend out of the way as the pteranodon tries to grab Matthew. With the pteranodon on the ground, the two of them begin to shoot it with their bows. After 4 shots combined, they kill the pteranodon, only to see 2 more above them. Arrows 19. Realizing that his arrows are running low, Stephen, along with Matthew, decide to run into the forest to lose the dinosaurs. Stephen runs into the thick forest as the pteranodons continue to chase him. The pteranodons to get into the forest, but end up crashing into the trees. With the pteranodons down on the floor, Matthew and Stephen kill both dinosaurs with their arrows. Arrows 14. We make a good team, don't we? Stephen says. I agree, mate. Let's keep it up, shall we? Matthew replies. The two of them continue deeper into the forest, where the trees become more common and grow in numbers. As they go deeper into the forest, they spot more Dilophosauruses up ahead. They are hard to spot in the forest, so the two are careful of their surroundings. One of them come out from behind a tree and attacks Stephen from his left side. Health 52. After taking some damage, he shoots the Dilophosaurus with a few arrows, killing the dinosaur. After a couple of the Dilophosauruses are killed, the rest run back towards where Dino Rule lies. Arrows 10. Before Stephen can move on, he hears the voice of the old man that he saw in his dream.
Stephen, before you head into Dino Rule, you must obtain the blade of our realm along with our shield. Also, I sense a great dinosaur in your area. These are the most powerful dinosaurs in Dino Rule. The Allosaurus, Thanatos, which is the dinosaur that represents the element of light, is loose. The blade of Dino Rule is the only thing that can defeat Thanatos. Hurry, the spirit of the old man says.
Where can this blade be found? He asks.
It can be found within the light shrine in the eastern portion of the border area,
the spirit says. After getting the instructions, Stephen heads to meet Matthew.
Hey, Stephen, I think we should split up. I'll take the west side and you grab the east side. Sound good? Matthew asks.
You sure? I don't think I should leave you alone.
Nonsense, mate. I can handle myself. Besides, we got to see where these dinosaurs are coming from,
Matthew says. Stephen heads east to look for the shrine. As he's walking, he spots a few raptors making mincemeat out of a fellow researcher. With only 10 arrows, he decides to hide behind the tree to avoid being spotted by the raptors. Once the raptors are done making mincemeat out of humans, they begin to run back south. Seeing the raptors run away, he runs to the human only to see him all torn apart from the bites. He sees a couple of pickups. Picked up plus 15 arrows. Arrows 25. Picked up a small red potion. Restores plus 20 health. Health 72. Once he gets the arrows, he continues on his way toward the shrine. He starts to see the forest become less dense, and he sees a small pond with ancient-like stones surrounding it. What is this? It's a beautiful pond. He is marveled by the beauty of the pond. He doesn't have much time to look at the pond as he gets ambushed by a couple of raptors that approach him from the plateaus behind him. One of the raptors is able to grab a hold of his arm with its teeth. He fights out and pulls an arrow out of his quiver. He uses the arrow to stab the baby raptor in the head, killing it. Health 56. A decent amount of health after the vile attack. His left arm is injured and he's unable to use the bow with both hands. The other raptor tries to use its tail to whip him to the floor. Press A and B to jump. Well done. He jumps from the attack and runs toward it with the lone arrow in hand. Grabbing it in the throat, he thrusts the arrow into the raptor with his injured hand. After killing the raptors, he begins to favor his left arm as it was injured by the raptor bite. Damn! This bite isn't helping me at all, Stephen says in pain.
My young hero, that pond has special healing properties that will heal all of your injuries immediately. Jump in. There is nothing to be afraid of. In fact, where you're standing is the realm of light of Dino Rule. I protect these parts. This is the outer border of my great realm, and this is the first line of defense,
the old man says. I didn't see this element in the chamber last night, he replies.
No worries. Your questions will be answered once you defeat Thanatos. Now heal yourself and retrieve the blade of Dino Rule. Time is of the essence. You shall be able to see me soon enough,
the old man says before he leaves. Stephen steps into the pool and immediately he begins to feel the good vibes entering his body. He begins to see a yellow light surrounding him as his injured arm begins to feel better. Once he's in the pool completely, his stamina goes back up as well, and he is no longer tired like before. You have stepped into the sacred pool of light. Health has been restored completely. Health 100. A voice says, "Come back anytime you need to heal up, Stephen," a voice says once he gets out of the pool. When he gets past the sacred pool, he can see what looks to be the Shrine of Light. He looks around for any dinosaurs, but none are found. Entering the shrine, the inside is nothing like outside. It is filled with ancient writing of Dino Rule and possibly humans that were in the area millions of years ago. He can see a strange-looking symbol on a stone door. He opens the door and he sees the room filled with the blue light. More importantly, he spots a chest as well. Walking slowly to the chest, he prepares to open the chest. After a minute, he nervously opens the chest, expecting anything from the blade to a trap. Once he opens the chest, to his relief, it's not a trap. Picked up the blade of Dino Rule and the shield of Dino Rule. Legend has it that the greatest foes of Dino Rule can be defeated using this sacred sword and shield. The sword is a broadsword and is not too heavy. However, the metal is of the finest material and can cut through dinosaurs like butter. At least the smaller ones. The shield is a circular shield made out of heavy steel and has the same symbol like the door. Perhaps it's the symbol of the realm. He carries the shield on his left hand and the legendary blade on his right, as he's right-handed. Now, to defeat this legend of a dinosaur and begin this epic quest, he says, as he prepares for his first boss battle. All right, and that is the request. That was Prehistoric Crisis by Angel Ramon. So if you liked that little segment that I narrated, go pre-order. It comes out October 12th, right?
Yep.
It's only $3. How long is this going to be?
How long is what?
How long is the book going to be?
Oh, it's gonna be. I'm up to 125,000. It's gonna be closer to like 150,000 words.
Wow, that's
Gonna be an epic.
That's gonna be epic. So, but I mean, if you only have 25,000 more words to do, if you're releasing in October, it sounds like you've got a lot of time to polish as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, I hope that hyped people up for you. Thanks so much for requesting your book, Angel. And I'm going to go ahead and let you go here and move on to the next request.
All right. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you. Have a good one. Who let the dogs out? What are you talking about? Oh, me. I let the dogs out. Okay, let's see. All right. So, yeah. On to the next request. What do we have next? I hate being wed in a fantasy world. Did we ever, did our author for this one show up? Elaine Emmerich is here. Are you the author? Nick Coons. Durzo, what's up, Durzo? Nope, he's probably asleep. Okay. Well, we will just read this without him. Does anybody else have any insight into this? Let me read the synopsis here. And it is like he's got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, let me go ahead and screen share. Okay, here. I hate being wed in a fantasy world. Okay, so if you'll see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 other volumes, I suppose, before this. I have little doubt that this is some kind of harem fantasy. Very heavily inspired by anime. Let's see, Katsuragi Kenta was a gamer. He did exactly what he needed to obtain the games he wanted and the time to play them. Nothing more, nothing less. When his entire class is transported to a fantasy world, Kenta is suddenly an expert on their situation and the world around them. Naturally, he sets out on his own to escape his two-faced classmates. 2 months later, he returns and discovers that Momokawa Kyo. See, it's a habit of mine to like try and figure out the correct pronunciation of words. Momokawa. It's probably Momokawa Kyo. Okay. Formerly the most popular girl in class was left behind by their classmates. The two strike up an uneasy alliance despite despising each other. What's more, they may have to work together to survive a curse. Kenta will have his hands full surviving his new fantasy world. If the monsters don't get him, Kyo might, just might. All right, so yeah, let's check this out. Here it is. Okay. Oh, I should have used his, he sent me a better version of his cover. I should have used that. All right, so we got directions here for all the characters. Very in-depth directions. Let's go over that shit. Oh, am I still screen sharing? Oh, God. Ah! Okay, there we go. All right. So, Katsuragi Kenta. Protagonist, 16 years old, Japanese student, a gamer and misanthropist? He probably means misanthrope, who was summoned as a hero along with his classmates into a fantasy world with game elements. He knows that this is not like playing games at all and is tired and annoyed by this world, especially since he got married to Kyo and Rine by a cursed ring. He sees his life right now as misery, as he's the kind of loner who actually likes being alone and don't need others much. Therefore, his communication skills aren't up to par either. Despite his whining, he has a strong, reliable core and gets things done when needed. He just likes to pity himself at times. He's a teenager grump in general, who thinks of himself as smart and therefore looks down at others at times without even realizing it. He also has trust issues. When he meets the Alfar, he starts tense and is suspicious of them, yet he can't handle the humor that well, as he's a more serious and no-nonsense character who is thrown into a world full of things that are strange and stupid. He's also the narrator most of the time and therefore explains stuff to the audience here and there, while many of the narrations are his thoughts. Okay. Momokawa Kyo, first wife, 16 years old, Japanese student. She's the one who calls him Kenta. One of Kenta's classmates are therefore also a hero. What? One of Kenta's classmates and therefore also a hero. She's the former class rep and a Japanese beauty. She knows that, and she also knows that she's popular. However, she recently had a falling out with her actual friends, and she thinks Kenta is the reason for it, and she's kind of right. Back in Japan, she hated Kenta's guts and was disgusted by him, I guess. But when she was in a tight spot, she decided to join him to get out of this. She already had 2 adventures with him. The first one left her a bit impressed, with the downside probably of being cursed and married to him. The second one, the fall out with her friends, left her in a really bad mood. She's verbally abusing Kenta, who just tries to endure it, as she's much better at conversations at him, the loner. Maybe she cares a bit for him at this point of the story, but if she does, she's really good at hiding it. However, she's friendly towards Rine and tries to make the princess her new best friend, because it's beneficial. And her core, Kyo, is someone who fell from grace and hates to have lost control over her life, while she's bitter about her current relationship with her friends, and that she's stuck to Kenta because of the curse, and now she's looking at a way to regain control, though, teenager as she is, chose a suboptimal way to do it. While she's surprised by the Alfar at first, she also is able to get a hang on herself faster, as she's socially adaptable and knows that she wants to use the Alfar in the end to get knowledge about how to get rid of the curse and therefore only need to put up with him for a while. Okay. Rine, aka Katharine von Stolzerz. Katharine von Stolzerz. Okay. Second wife, 15 years old, Princess of Fürburg. She's a naive, not that smart girl who admires stories and heroes and wants to be like them. While there's curse turned her into a hero theoretically, what she really wants is fun and adventures, kicking the butt of evil. You know what I forgot to do is drop the Hangouts link. I got mentioned. Who mentioned my ass? Never mind. Busy. While the curse turned her into a hero theoretically, what she really wants is fun, adventures, kicking the butt of evil, and to be around friends. In many respects, she's childish, but not her body. She's outgoing, kind, tries her best to be polite, however, she doesn't like talking or acting stiff. She thinks that she has a crush on Kenta, though her idea of romance is a bit biased, and Kenta really hates how close she acts and uses every opportunity to touch him or hug him or give him a hard time. She's also the source of some of Kenta's trouble. She really believes that Kyo cares for her and is her best friend ever, so she's not that happy about whenever Kenta and Kyo are arguing. Combat-wise, she's marvelous, however. Her perception of her own skills are skewed, as she trained with the best, therefore she's humble about them. Of course, this is also the reason why, despite running away from home, Kenta and Kyo can't force her to return home, and now that she's also inflicted with the curse, they can't just leave Rinne without suffering grave consequences. Of course, she's excited about meeting real elves, though she tries to be polite, as this is what she always had to do whenever she met an ambassador. The Alfar are, okay, Alfar/elves. The Alfar are the young folk. The reason is, however, not their physical appearance, but the fact that they're forever stuck in puberty. They're playful, they love playing pranks and pushing buttons in people. They all think that humans are solely motivated by their sex drive. Orohek is an old Alfar who still have many antics and can't help but make fun of people. That's why when he's serious, even if he asks, which one do you pork? Are Erajos is like that awkward teen who tries to act cool by being defiant. He also harbors a small crush for Araen, who never even took notice of him. Araen, soon to be third wife, 144 years old, Alfar hero sage. She has the general same traits as the other Alfar, but she's better at hiding them under a more calm demeanor. Within the Alfar, she's a bit of an oddball. That's why she's living outside the village. She was summoned as a hero around a century ago from the world of Alfarheim. She's intelligent, well-read, proud to be a slacker, and only puts effort into studying heroes. She's usually calm, can be excited by heroes, but takes things at her own pace. Her focus is also like a laser when she's interested. She's interested in that and tends to neglect other things, like other people's feelings, her own well-being, etc. All right. So those are our characters. Very elaborate directions here. Let's see. Where are we? I have a bunch of people still. Cool. Uh-oh. Author is here. Who's... Did they message me? Okay. I don't know who the author is, though. I mean, what they're... Oh, Penny's live now. What is she doing? Okay, yeah, so... Anybody tell me who the author is in the chat? Oh, Kevin Just Us. Okay. Gotcha. Is he Kevin Just Us on Facebook? Yes, gotcha. Here is Hangout. I just sent it through Facebook, Kevin. Come on in whenever you're ready. We wait for him. My ear itches. Why is this so high? It's disrupting the camera. Who did that? Jeez. I'm really curious what Annie's doing live right now. I'm just going to click it real quick. Or is she singing? Someone else is using her phone. Nope. He's just watching a band. It looks like in church, maybe. I could watch Annie. Got my own show going on. Okay, somehow I'm just at the starter, not used to Hangout. Cool. What does that mean? You just say yes to everything and then go. Click the link, say yes. Yes, you can have my soul. So all you got to do is sell your soul. It's not beer, it is Cider Boys, Peach County. He'll be on in just a second, I promise, guys. He's coming. It is tasty. That's what she said. Okay, I'm gonna sneeze. There we go. Nope. What? What do you mean? I don't understand what his dilemma is. Okay. Kevin, could you there he is here in chat. No wait. I don't know how to explain it. I can't go to your link because we're broadcasting from my link. Is he are you listening through YouTube right now? Oh, thank you, Lord Forsaken. I'm trying to work out technical difficulties with Mr. Kevin Justus here. I don't know if he's still listening or if I need to talk to him through the Facebook. I'm going to go ahead and start narrating. And then when he gets here, if he gets here, he can interrupt us. Excuse me. Volume 3, Chapter 2, How to Socialize with Elves, Part 2. When you're in a fantasy world, you can't cut the traveling time. So, if you need 5 days to get to a location, you have to be prepared to walk 5 days, sleeping outside 5 days, killing monsters, attacking you for 5 days, and so on. Lucky for you, I'm the one who needs to endure it. For you, it's a simple 5 days later. Bastard. The three of us are standing in front of the forest. This is where the elves live. So, this is the forest of Aroahane. Ken, now that we're here... Oh, no. Ken, now that we're here, we have to talk. Talk about what? Your face. Are you implying that I'm ugly? Yes, but let me finish. Do you remember the lizard men? The Srak? Of course. Do you remember how every single one of them who saw you tried to beat you up or to kill you? Yes. Since I don't want to risk anything, I would feel much safer if you cover your face and won't say anything. Like ever again. But for some days would be sufficient for now. You're not. Maybe there were some problems in the past, but it's not like I wanted these things to escalate. I'm almost innocent. Now Rine chimes in. Kyo, Kenta isn't ugly. He may not be handsome compared to some other men I know, but he's not as bad as others.
His face may get a passing grade, but only if he would actually smile for a change. I mean, a heartfelt one and not one of his usual smirks. That's unfair, Kyo. Smiling is not his strong point.
Renee, please stop. It's too pitiful a display of a defense. I rub my temples. Kyo-san, I let you do the talking, but I won't cover my face. We have neither a mask, nor do I want to restrain my perception ability by one bit. Even facial hair is supposed to help you to perceive your surroundings by feeling the air currents.
That sounds stupid, but as long as you're quiet, it's sufficient.
So we walked towards the trees. I'm a step ahead of the rest. Wait, there is something. The air is flickering a bit. It seems like a TV, which tries to display a definition it's not compatible with. You see things as they are, but it's a bit blurred. Without the focus and farsight skills, I may have missed it. I take a pebble and throw it. It's flicked away by that obviously magical barrier. I look for some more pebbles and repeated the process. We knocked. Let's wait. It doesn't take long until the barrier opens up large enough for us to enter. Opens up a hole large enough for us to enter. This seems fishy, but do we have a choice? So we enter, and behind us, the barrier closes. Then suddenly, I see several creatures around us, pointing their arrows at us. Elves. 8 of them. Or are they? The elves I saw in games and movies are beautiful humanoids. They have pointy ears, but otherwise they look like slim humans. But how do I say... These ones look strange. Pointy ears, check. Beautiful. Their eyes are wide, and their irises are two-colored, an inner and an outer ring. Green and yellow is the most common combination, but one has red and green, and another one blue and gray. The pupils are long, a bit cat-like. Their nasal bones are also long. Their cheekbones on the high side, and the heads rather large compared to the rest of their bodies. These are rather short, and instead of slim, they're more skinny. Even though some of them look female, they have no breasts. Not even a bit. Their hair is bright. Most of them have a light green color. But there's also one with copper-colored hair, someone with bluish-green hair. I can even see 2 of them, whose hair was yellow. Not blonde, yellow. Wait a minute. Is there a bit of green in their skin color? No, elves are not beautiful. They're strange. Different. I look at them, and I can't help to think that they're an entirely different species. All these differences are subtle in nature, but they sum up to something inhuman. Maybe that's why in maybe that's why in Japan foreigners were considered as monsters centuries ago. Excuse me. So, unless these are the freaks, I suppose that there are no attractive, big-busted elven girls in this fantasy world. Again, it proves me that it's not a game. It's all summed up by their choice of clothes, which style is strange. None of them wears footgear if you don't count soulless cotton and leather laces. The elves are calm. One of them slowly lowers the bow. His eyes have a combination of yellow-green that's a bit brighter than the rest.
Hands in the air! We do as he said. Before we begin with the standard procedure, there is one question we have to ask.
Kyo-san stays calm and answers,
Ask. It's for the male one.
Hey, that wasn't discussed. I thought I would just stay behind Kyo-san and do nothing. The same Kyo-san is definitely displeased, but nods at me. No chance, huh?
What is it? Which one of these 2 do you pork?
Okay, wait a minute. Let me make sure I know who this character is. An old one, okay. Well, it doesn't matter, though, because they're all going through puberty.
Which one of these 2 do you pork?
What?
I look at Kyo-san, who's as speechless as I am, and Renee, who's cocking her head, not understanding what was just asked. Can you repeat the question? I must have misheard it. Which one of these two females do you pork? Or screw? Wedge? You know, nighttime actions. Is he serious? Answer me, or we will turn you into a pincushion. He lifts the bow and aims at me. The other elves are also aiming directly at me, instead of our general direction. He is serious? Kenta has night action with Kyo, since they won't let me join. Renee! I fall down to my knees, unable to support my weight with my weakening legs. Kyo-san is about to faint, rolling her eyes that much, and that there is no iris to see. The elves are laughing. Oh, we have a playboy here. Well, not our problem, but the black-haired one, huh? I just lost a carving knife, you bastard. You seemed like one who would do blondes. Why is there a strange sound? I'm hitting my forehead repeatedly with both of my palms. Please stop. I don't even know who am I addressing, but please stop. Oh, after we got the answer of that important questions, let's start the interrogation. Who are you and what do you want here? I want to answer, but I'm busy hurting myself. Kyo-san is also putting her face in her hands in dismay. So we have only one party member left who could answer. My name is Katarine von Stolzherz. This is Katsurugi Kenta. That is Momokawa Kyo, and we're heroes. We're here to visit the elves. Suddenly, the air freezes. The elves, despite not changing their facial expressions, are looking at us with hostility, and most of them draw their bows. What did you call us? The leader is obviously pissed. At least going by his voice. I can't tell by his body language. Elves? Renee is tilting her head. Who's saying this? Erejos, don't! Before the leader of the elves could interfere, an arrow is shot at Renee. Okay. Erejos, don't! Before the leader of the elves could interfere, an arrow is shot at Renee. But without breaking a sweat, she draws her sword and deflects it with a swift motion. Renee, you're too overpowered, being able to do that. Even most of the elves' mouths are agape. It's only slightly. Maybe elves just don't have much facial expression in general. Please, Mr. Elf, I'm sorry I have offended you. She does a curtsy and apologizes. Even though the hostility remained, it calmed a bit. The leader answers, still in a bit in shock about Renee's display of overprowess. Katarine, I'm sorry for Erejos. You have to know that elf is a word used by humans, which is like an insult to us. If we called humans constantly dumans, you would also feel insulted. I see. So how do you call yourself? Alpha. Singular, Alpha. Sorry, Mr. Alpha. We're the Leos, which means the ones who lives in the light in common tongue. If you refer to us as high elves or light elves, we'll kill you. Okay. Hey, isn't Renee quite capable of taking over negotiations? He already starts to befriend them. Well, her persuasion value is high after all. My name is Orohek, by the way. I'm the leader of the guards. Catherine, there is another important question I have to ask you. What is it? What are these things on her chest? They seem to be bouncy and needless. On Kyo's chest? Oh, sorry. On Kyo's chest? Her breasts? Human women do have those. Do you have these breasts as well? Yes. You can't see mine since I'm wearing armor. Ah. So, what do you do with these? She's fidgeting.
adult stuff.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! All Alfar are celebrating this news in a choir. At least they're lowering their bows to pump their fist into the air. What a bunch of pubescent brats. Every one of them is looking like they could be around our age, despite being disfigured, so yes, you may have only one thing in your head at that age. But seriously, Orohek continued, well, if we consider everything, I think that you may pass after the last test. We need to see if your story about being heroes is true. Is there any evidence? Renee is looking at me. Kyo-san is still squirming, unable to respond. I think I can hear a quiet mix of whining, curses, and strange noises from her. I stand up and see how an alpha girl is humping her waist. It's not the least bit sexy, but very annoying. Do you know class change? Yes. Orohek is totally relaxed, but his ears are waving a bit. What does that mean? Never mind. Then watch. I select the pikeman class and my muscles grow. 1. Then I select the student class, my muscle mass decreases and my belly grows. 2. Then scout again. 3. Orohek put his bow into the quiver on his waist. That is quite a display. Even though I don't know which class makes your belly bloats. I want to hit him. Adios! Orohek turns to the one who just shot at Rene. As punishment, you will run ahead and inform Arain about the coming heroes. He will be delighted. Arios complains about being degraded to a messenger, but Orohek only insisted and Arios complies. Well, Orohek called himself the leader of the guards, of course. He outranks that Arios guy. The bowstring-happy Alfer runs deeper into the forest, and we follow Orohek and the rest of the Alfer at a slow pace. This is a nutty story. After the magical wards comes a labyrinth made out of trees and bushes. Is it me, or did we pass the same trees several times? See how much. Okay. Excuse me. Even though the way the branches are growing differs, the bark pattern seems to be the same. I also feel observed by something hostile. Excuse me. We're here! Orohek declares this while showing us a perfect panorama of the middle of nowhere. Seriously, some trees, scrubs, nothing else. Scrubs, maybe shrubs. As I expected. So, this is the part where you try to kill us? Orohek blinks in disbelief. What are you talking about? You brought us deep into the forest, only so that there will be no chance. Will be no chance that we can! Stop interrupting me! Oh, sorry. This is Kyo-san. You brought us deep into the forest, only so that there will be no chance. Will be no chance that we can! Stop interrupting me! Stop being a moron and look up! Kyo-san points to the treetops. There is something strange. The branches of several trees have formed like a basket, emerging several crowns to something, which resembles a dome. Between the branches are sometimes big holes, which are covered up by leaves. Is this a building? Are these windows and doors? Close your mouth. Insects are flying in. Kyo-san makes a sardonic remark. Orohek simply snickers and asks, Any questions left? This is shameful. Yes. How are we supposed to get in? Humans. Almost forgot. Orohek steps forward. Addressing the tree, he spoke. We like to enter you. Would you be so kind to help us? The tree lowers a humongous branch, which acts like a small bridge to the leaf-covered hole, which is supposedly a door. Moving trees. This is actually quite fantasy-like. I don't like it. I get the feeling that every tree inside this forest might become an enemy.
Kenta, look! It's moving by being asked. This is unbelievable. Rine's eyes are sparkling. She's so simple. Kyo-san narrows her eyes. Maybe she's thinking the same as I am. Then she whispers with a shake of her head, "Don't think about it." We cross the bridge and enter the building. It's a mess. Books, papers, and scrolls are scattered through the whole room and on all furniture. Most of them seem to contain countless lists of numbers, and quite a few of them are covered in dust. The room in general is dusty and unkempt. I can smell old leftovers, reminding me of my own room in Japan after a gaming marathon. Some space was made, obviously just now, since I can still see the things which were thrown aside to free some sitting accommodation. On one of these seats is the guy who was sent here by Orohek. I've already forgotten his name. Well, let's hope this won't be important anymore. Where is Arain? Orohek asked the Alpher. Back in what's left of the kitchen. Back in what's left of the kitchen. After a hard negotiation, she's preparing drinks. Hey, why are you silent? And why am I hearing some strange noises from a room further inside this wooden building? Steps are approaching, accompanied by clattering. Someone is carrying dishes, I think. Finally, with a thud that someone falls to the ground, the dishes fall to the ground and break. Seriously, what's going on? Ah! I can hear the voice of a girl who seems to wonder what just happened. I fell asleep. I throw a glance at Kyo-san, who doesn't have the pitch skill and therefore can only hear faint, strange sounds without knowing what's going on. Same for Rine, whose head is tilted. Then I redirected the glance at Orohek, who explains with a shrug, She rarely sleeps, so sometimes she falls asleep while standing, or walking, or eating, or about every other form of activity. Why are you so calm about it? Who is she, and why do we have to meet her? Adios! Please help her! Why do I have to? Because I'll put fleas in your bed if you don't. I hate you! Yet that Erios guy does what the other Alpha asked him to do. Actually, he seems even a bit eager about it. Strange. We seat ourselves, and after around 2 minutes, finally we can see that Arain-san is a girl. The way she's looking is about the same for me as the other Alphar. High cheekbones, long, pointy ears, wide, dark green, dark blue eyes, and hair white as snow. I think that she looks like a girl around my age, but it's hard to call her pretty. At least from a human standpoint. Even though she's supposed to be so tired that she even falls asleep while walking, she doesn't have bags under her eyes. I think the points of her ears are a bit sacked, though. Welcome to my research facility. I'm the one in charge, Arain. Hyo-san and I are looking at Rine, so she can take over the conversation. However, she's looking at me for some reason, so I try to push the burden to Kyo-san, who sighs and does what she's originally supposed to do. I'm Momokawa Kyo. That's Katsuragi Kenta, and finally, this is Rine-chan. At least your names sound hero-like. All of you are humans? Yes. All of you are heroes? Yes. Then... Without any sort of sign, Arain-san's upper body lost all of its tension. Before it could fall, I catch her by the shoulders. I was the first to notice, since I got the focus skill. Arain-san is blinking several times, while the Alfar are drawing their weapons. That Erios guy already had an arrow drawn on his string. Hey, I just helped her. A bit of life comes back to the girl I just caught. Orohek and everyone else. No, Orohek and everyone else. He just caught me when I fell asleep. Orohek and everyone else. He just caught me when I fell asleep. The Alpha girl sighs and looks me into the eyes. You're quite a specimen. Did you catch me to win a bit of my favor? I avert my eyes. You got me.
That's exactly what I would do and why I did so. Even someone like me wants to befriend as many Alfar as possible after witnessing only the tip of the iceberg of their defense mechanisms. Orohek makes a gesture and the guards lower their weapons. Sorry, Arain, we thought he was going to rape you. What? Hey, doing it with an Alfar would probably feel like bestiality. They're an entirely different species. Does anyone getting off doing it with apes? Sorry, Kentakun, Arain-san explains. In Alpha literature, there are a number of pieces about humans raping Alpha women. We have these in my world as well. I kind of feel guilty. Some humans also perform bestiality. I have a question. It's a very important one to me. Why are you kunning me? She's sleeping again. I let her drop to the floor. Orohek is the first one to act this time. Everyone, drop your weapon until she drops his pants. Everyone, drop your weapons until he drops his pants. This is the worst. Okay. All right, that's the end of that request. I wish we had had more time to get Kevin Justus in here to talk about his book, but I did enjoy that quite a bit. I guess Kevin Justus is actually Japanese. It seems like it seems like this is a Japanese translation. Or it seems like this is a translation, and a lot of the errors are the types of errors I often see in Japanese translations. So, yeah. Otherwise, though, I think it's funny. Oh, German. Okay. So, anyway, I thought it was funny. Kevin, he's got 1,500 followers on Royal Road. So again, anyone who wants to check out the 2 requests that I've done so far, go ahead and check the description below the stream in the comments. Not comments. What do they call it? Yeah, in the description below. And the last one is going to be Deck of Souls here with Bonnie Price. Let me go to the bathroom for just a minute, and I'll be right back. And then Bonnie will be jumping in. Maybe she can just jump in and start like doing silly things to entertain you guys while I'm away. All right, I'm back. Bon.
Yo.
What's going on?
Not much.
Look at you in your furry helmet. Okay, so yeah, we are on your book again. I think you gave us a bit of a synopsis last time, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you came. Okay, but just to refresh your guys' memory, I'm gonna go ahead and read the synopsis.
myself. Gods, demons, and heroes. Typical MMO fare, or so I thought. And this is a female, right?
Yes.
Protagonist. When my guild dragged me into Jariskir Online, I expected I'd be playing the latest VR game. Nothing could have been further from the truth. You see, the gods like to trade people. Chosen by the gods of Jariskir and betrayed by my Jariskir? Jariskir?
Jariskir.
Chosen by the gods of Jariskir and betrayed by my own, I found out that this virtual world is all too real. Now, I must choose between my own people and a cocky incubus. It should be an easy decision. Yet I find my loyalties torn between the tyrannical and backwards Isradian Empire or the oppressed demon kingdom Nabir Zan. To embrace justice or betray my own race. Or maybe I'll just burn it all down. Okay, so this is Deck of Souls. Bonnie is in the like, how far are you into finishing this book, you think?
So I checked my word count yesterday. I think it was 153,000 words. And I'm trying to wrap up the first book in the next 10,000 or so.
Okay, so you're pretty close.
Yeah.
Pretty close. And then there's editing, of course. It's probably going to take another month or so. What do you think?
So one of the editors I talked to won't have any space until probably October, but that's not too terrible because my cover artist doesn't have time until October or November, so that actually lines up pretty decently.
Okay, so by the end of the year, we're probably going to see this hitting Amazon, right?
Right. My hope is that I can publish it in December at the latest.
Cool, and I'm going to pimp out the book you already have as well, real quick, before we get started. Got a cool cover. Where is my... Here it is. All right, and this one is not an actual GameLit. This is an
Correct.
urban fantasy, I think.
Romantic fantasy, high fantasy, dark fantasy mix.
Gotcha. Beneath the Mists of Astral and Umbral, book 1. So yeah, that is available now if you guys like this segment once I'm done with it. Now, let's go back to what you actually requested. Specifically, it looks like, oh, wait a minute. You just... Oh, here we go. Here's the PDF. So we have two options here. Option 1 is 3,001 words long. How dare you? And it's told from the female MC's POV. There are also male voices. This is a mostly character development chapter. They're on a date, though there is also some action in it as well. The action scene might be a bit gory. I'm not sure if it's cringe theater levels of gore, though. I don't think gore is really... I don't think cringe theater is worried about gore. I mean, it'd have to be like... I don't know. It'd have to not just be gory, but like people would have to be like fucking themselves in the ass with intestines or something.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah. Okay. Let's try it someday. Option 2 is 1,558 words long and is told from the male MC's POV. There are a few female lines, but this is mostly a narrative/emotional chapter on the male MC's part. He's at the end of his patience with the female MC's inconsistent behavior. He's also in love with the female MC at this point, but hasn't quite realized it yet. Definitely not cringe theater material. Okay, so first one, character development. Okay, I honestly would prefer to narrate as a male.
I figured.
Just a little preference thing going, no big deal. But this is going to be like a more dramatic one. So this is interesting because we don't usually get like a lot of drama on Sound Booth Theater Live. It's usually comedy or action. All right, and let me go back to your character direction here. See, blurb, pronunciations. We got Saris, Idris, Jariskir. Sajarier.
Sajari.
Okay. Nabir Zahn, Emrys, and Elidir. Okay. Okay. MC voices. Saris is sultry, somewhat commanding. Accent is whatever y'all want. Whatever y'all want. Okay, so she's gonna be country.
Oh Lord.
Your fault. You said y'all. The time she lives in is post World War IV, and there's a global government. So what accents would be like is up in the air. She's going full Kentucky. All right, Idris, refined. He's a king. Accent would be a Welsh Scot fusion. Oh fuck. YouTube reference. Avak on YouTube. The same goes for anyone from his country. Okay. Well, uncolored human attackers in option 1, male accents. Uncolored demon in option 2, male. So what about the colored humans and demons?
There
Or
aren't
are you
any
just talking about colors on the text?
colors on the text.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's look up Avak.
To me, he sounds more Britishy, but he's from Wales and lives in Scotland, so it's kind of hard to explain.
I think I remember looking this guy up before.
Mm-hmm.
Just as a refresher.
Looking dapper. I'm gonna have to build more batteries, certainly. It could be build the odd solar power, wind turbine, I guess.
What is this king?
Polymers are going to be easier for me to
Life on
get
Mars?
hold of than not. Right, let's get you out here and researching this first, and then this.
Okay, that's not as hard
Can you
as
do
I
that
thought
for
it'd
me
be.
in that order? I'm not sure. We'll see which one it heads to first. But if we can get that set up, then it's going to allow me to store more power in the day. But I think that we will run out of power faster. Are you going there or the other one first? You are going there first. Okay, I want that one done first, just in case it's a really good tech that I want to grab before doing anything else. I'm almost finished on that. That being said, actually, once that's up and running, we're going to be generating oodles of power.
It's more about rhythm. It does sound like British, but the rhythm is different.
Yeah.
I wish I could shut down life support. Can I?
Can I? Okay. Let's try it.
Let's do this. Idris, he's the man. Maybe I'll do his voice like that. I rolled my shoulders, wincing, as I made my way through the palace.
Chapter 28. Okay. Chapter 28. Distance. I rolled my shoulders, wincing, as I made my way through the palace. The past several days had been spent on work and little else. My time away from Deraskir had resulted in piles upon piles of paperwork, which unwitting otherworlders appeared keen to interrupt. If Nabir Zon hadn't needed their kind so greatly, I would have been happy to silence them permanently. More troubling still, I hadn't seen Saris in days. Emrys and Elidir had both given me favorable reports regarding her accommodations and informed me that she had begun basic training. Alana had even given Saris a clean bill of health. Yet the demoness in question was nowhere to be seen. I couldn't help but wonder if she was avoiding me. Alas, I was doing my best not to intrude upon her thoughts. Training, perhaps, I wondered, glancing out the nearest window. Night had fallen several hours prior, but it was easy for me to tell that Saris had yet to return to the Queen's Tower. Shielding her mind at all hours of the day gave me an easy way to find her, if nothing else. I had hoped that she would come to me, but it was clear now that she was too focused on other matters.
I had to go to her. Resigned, I strode down a hallway that would lead me toward the training yard and away from my chambers. I wanted to test the petite woman for myself. No time like the present. However, when I arrived at the training yard, my mind quickly changed. The glimpse was brief, but I most certainly saw blood dripping from Ceres's fist as she pulled it back to strike a dummy. Droplets of blood stained the sand around her feet, and there were smears around where her strikes had landed. How am I doing so far? I feel like I'm faking it a little bit.
Decent.
Okay, it's okay. All right. Not terrible, we'll say. And before I knew what I was doing, I dashed in front of her and caught her wrists. Her strike didn't hit me, yet there was enough force behind it for me to feel the displacement of the air through my clothes. She was using far too much strength in simple training, as if the blood running down her hands and feet wasn't enough of an indication on its own. "Ceres, stop!" I spoke quietly when she looked up at me with an expression of both confusion and surprise. "Why?" Ceres frowned at me and attempted to pull her wrists out of my grip. If I'm going to get stronger... Nope. If I'm going to get stronger, I need to train. I've still got a few more reps. You will stop before you ruin your hands and your feet, I interjected. Firmly, narrowing my eyes at her. It took several more moments before I realized my pulse was racing. I didn't like the sight of her bleeding. Not at all. It was utterly unacceptable. I swallowed hard before continuing. If you insist on such forms of combat, we will find you some manner of gauntlets and boots to protect your skin. But I need to build up calluses. Ceres shook her head, seemingly oblivious to my tightening grip. New body, fresh skin, no calluses to speak of. It'll take a while to build them up, but I will not hear any arguments, especially not such weak ones, I snapped, pulling her away from the dummy. My tone startled her into looking up at me in silence, but with wide eyes. You are bleeding everywhere. Come, we're going to pay a visit to the healers. Bleed? Oh. Ceres frowned when she finally glanced down at her hands. How could you not have noticed that? I asked. Exasperated, watching the troublesome demoness glance from her hands to her feet, and then to where she had been training. I sort of turn off my brain to most things when I get focused. Ceres shrugged before looking up at me again. I'm sure I can find my way myself. You don't need to waste your time. Shouldn't you be heading off to... Hey, put me down! I can't trust you to go to the healers on your own instead of continuing to damage yourself. I ignored her fists hitting my back as I carted her into the palace. Honestly, Ceres, what were you thinking? What would you have done if you harmed yourself so gravely that you could no longer fight? Hands are a delicate part of the body. If you won't be more careful, I will have to have someone watch over you at all times. Why do you care? Ceres grumbled. Her words cut me like a knife. I forced myself to remain composed. You want to save Alice. I want to save my people. Neither will be achieved if you can no longer fight. I gritted my teeth, scowling at myself. Her question should have gotten to me. Her question shouldn't have gotten to me, nor should the sight of her bloodied hands and feet. Yet, both distressed me far more than I cared to admit. The latter made me wish I could reasonably keep her in the palace where it was safe. That's it? Ceres asked, sounding oddly disappointed. I felt one of her fists clench around my shirt. I'm glad it's that, and not liar. I shut my eyes briefly and forced my breathing to become steady. Ceres seemed so incredibly insistent in pushing me away, yet a peek at even her surface thoughts made it clear that it hurt her to do so. I had no idea how to approach her on the matter. My inability to truly understand her was, in part, what led me to make such a strange wager with her. Alas, she seemed just as baffled by me as I was by her. I'm getting dizzy upside down. I'm getting dizzy being upside down. Ceres tugged once on my shirt, causing me to slow to a stop. Instead of putting her down, I shifted her into my arms and held her against my chest. That's not what I had in mind. You were thinking of bolting the moment I set you down. I narrowed my eyes at her, watching as she glanced away. You'll be free of my presence soon enough. That isn't... Fine. Ceres clenched her jaw. Her tail twitched in agitation against my forearm. I sighed, but she didn't look at me. Ceres, eventually you will have to decide whether you are going to truly push me away or if you want to understand me and my kind, I informed her, watching as she ground her teeth. Furthermore, is it truly so horrible that someone wants you to keep you from harming yourself? Not like I was doing it on purpose. Ceres shot me a sideways glance. That said, attempting to understand your kind would be prudent, since I'm also the same race now, but I'm not going to learn much if you don't try to understand me. Considering you have made yourself scarce the past few days, I began, giving her an agitated look as I turned a corner. I don't think you can truly turn this back on me, Ceres. If afforded the opportunity to learn about you and understand you, I will. However, I'm less and less inclined to do so when you continually shove back. Maybe that's for the best. Ceres sighed and looked away from me again. It's not like I deserve kindness or understanding from anyone in this world or mine. If I'm going to make up my mind, it's probably best to make the choice to isolate myself. And how will that help you accomplish any of your goals? I asked, feeling her stiffen in my arms. Ceres, you have allies here. Betraying us for such poor reasoning is ill-advised. Just how frequently do you listen in on my thoughts? Ceres glared at me. Only when you are clearly hiding something or are distressed. I shook my head at her. Incubi and succubi tend to be very honest because of our ability to read each other's minds, especially when we're younger and haven't yet learned of any mental defenses. Your lingering penchant for human dishonesty, toward yourself and toward others, makes it difficult to understand you without listening to your thoughts. I'm trying to be patient, but Your Majesty? A tired man looked up from his desk when I carried Ceres into the infirmary. Ah, and Lady Moonfire, how might I help you so late at night? Her ladyship's hands and feet require healing. She has been training too hard. I sat Ceres down, watching as she glanced away with a small pout on her face. Ceres, once you are done here, you should return to your rooms to rest. You'll make yourself ill if you continue to overwork your mind and body. Without another word, I left Ceres in the healer's capable hands and made my way toward my own rooms. She frustrated me far more than I cared to admit. It was a feat most women I'd known throughout the centuries couldn't accomplish. I wanted to understand her. Truly I did. But her continued brusque behavior made it difficult for me to try. I wouldn't have tolerated such treatment from anyone else. Should I try harder? I wondered, striding into my suite. Or cease trying at all? Which is the appropriate choice with a woman who doesn't want to accept her own desires? And that's it. So, Bonnie, thank you for allowing me to completely bungle an accent. I hope it wasn't too annoying for you guys. Let's look at the comments if anyone's got any tips for me. Pork. Haha. Let's see, okay. We know why you're going to the bathroom. I'm not that silly. Kevin does us, though almost every name was mispronounced. Oh, really? Sorry. Furry. Valley Girl Bonbon. Oh, had to for Lise. Punches Nick. Okay. Is this book Glab friendly? Oh man, you should have asked earlier. Maybe we could have made what's her name? Ceres a Glab character. Oh well, opportunity passed. Okay, no accent suggestions. What about you, Bon? What could I have done better?
That's hard to put my finger on because it's such an odd accent.
Mm-hmm. It's odd in that it's so close to British. It's just like you gotta study it for a while to pick up the subtleties, and I wasn't able to do that. So hopefully, what little I did was okay. But Bon has requested 2 other things, right? 2 other things, and they both belong in Cringe Theater.
Absolutely.
So I can't vote. I'm not allowed to vote, but I am allowed, to strongly recommend that you guys look at Bonnie's other 2 requests because they look hilarious, and I think they would be really good for the next show. Danny's probably going to be putting up the poll here pretty soon, maybe today, maybe tomorrow. But on the next poll, look for Bonnie's requests. Look them up. You'll see why they would be so good for Sound Booth Theater Live. But otherwise, Bonnie's book should be coming out before the end of the year. It will be called Deck of Souls. It is already called Deck of Souls in its current form. Go check it out on Royal Road, which the link is in the description below. Bonnie, you got anything else to say?
Thanks for reading.
All right. So thank you for requesting. And yeah, that's our show for today. So if you guys want to keep hanging out with me, I am going to be in the Discord. Oh man, I keep forgetting to include the Discord server link in the YouTube description, but I'm going to start doing that from now on. But for now, I'll just go ahead and put it in the chat. So there's the link to the Discord server. So go join that if you guys want to hang out with me and the rest of the SBT crew on a more casual basis. We do live narrations there that don't get recorded. And we just basically turn on the microphone for Discord while we're already recording our projects, and we'll sit there and we'll read to you and we will talk to you and hang out while we're doing it. Tonight, I'm going to be recording a bunch of voices for The Wayward Bard. So if you guys want to come hang out with me while I do that, it'll be probably in an hour or so. I want to go get some food after this. And yeah, otherwise, check out the GameLit Society. Check out the Lit RPG Forum Facebook groups. They're also in the description below. Subscribe to this channel if you like watching this craziness happen. And go subscribe to the Sound Booth Theater newsletter, which is at soundbooththeater.com. We are doing bi-weekly now, and it's not me, unfortunately. It's not me writing. However, we have Emily. At some point, I'm going to get her last name right. Labus. Oh, fuck. Sorry. Emily is doing marketing for us, and she's doing all the newsletters from now on. So we will have a reliable bi-weekly newsletter from now on. Yeah, that's about it, guys. So thanks again for hanging out, and I will see you on the Discord server.